Hey guys, welcome to a late episode of Trailer Talk. I'm Brad, and just because this one's late doesn't mean we're not going to be doing another one this week. So enjoy the trailers, and if you like this, give us a thumbs up and help spread the word. Anyways, let's get started with a spooky game. Well, the game's probably spooky, but this is a strange live-action trailer for a little game called The Evil Within. Now, if you don't, it said Bethesda, but if you don't know what Tango Gameworks is, it's actually the studio that started by Shinji Mikami, you know, the creator of Resident Evil and Resident Evil 4. And, well, Bethesda, I think, bought his studio. So, he's making this new survival horror game. As you can tell, this looks kind of spooky. Now, this is a live-action trailer. And it looks a little cheesy, you know, like you're watching a Saw movie, but I've seen some actual screenshots of the game, and it does look pretty fucking freaky. And it looks kind of like a really more dark and fucked up Resident Evil 4 kind of. And, you know, this of course has Silent Hill vibes, but instead of Pyramid Head, it's Cube Head. It's like, fuck you. We got one more side, bitch. But, I don't know. That thing looks kind of creepy on the window. There's a scene coming up here that looks really freaky. Anyway, it's been a while since Shinji Mikami, I think, really, you know, sort of directed his own horror game. I know he helped out with Shadows of the Damned, but that was more of a Suda project. Like this part's freaky. But the thing is, I've seen a screenshot of this thing right here coming out of the blood, and it's way creepier and darker and fucked up than anything I fought in Resident Evil 4. But yeah, we're talking about the guy who brought us Resident Evil 4. One of the finest games ever made. So if he's doing another one of those, count me on board. The Evil Within. Alright, this next game is a trailer. It says Tencent Games. It's a Chinese company. They are publishing a game, a CryEngine 3 game. What could this be? Is it a new Crysis game? Looks nice. Look at that tree. Oh wait, that looks familiar. That looks really Monster Hunter-y. So this game hasn't been I don't think it's been confirmed for a worldwide release, but I don't see why it wouldn't get one. This is Monster Hunter Online. And I think a lot of people are talking about it because it looks a lot better than, I guess, the Monster Hunter games we've seen over the years. And if you think about it, like, I guess we're really only on Monster Hunter 3 with Monster Hunter 4 coming out soon. And there's been iterations and ports of those. But really, you know, it started out as a PS2 thing. And then it became a PSP thing, and then it became a Wii thing, and it got some ports, and next is going to be a 3DS thing. None of that technology is really all that different in the first place. So we've never seen Monster Hunter have a very big leap in graphics, and while this might not be the best looking thing ever, it certainly looks a lot more impressive. Like, look at that thing. Well, one thing that's great about Monster Hunter is just they have well-designed enemies that are well animated, and, you know, with all kinds of awesome tails and stuff. That's really cool. But anyways, there was a game called Monster Hunter Frontier, which is a more online-focused Monster Hunter game for the 360 and I think maybe PC. It wasn't that well received, and it never came out in the West, and some people are speculating that this is just sort of like the next one in that series, but, you know, it certainly looks good, and this is kind of what I've always wanted to see. I wanted to see Monster Hunter on, like, the most powerful hardware out there, because they have such a great art style, and like impressive like enemy designs and whatnot, but you always get to see it you always have to see it on underpowered hardware. But this is looking pretty nice. CryEngine 3, interesting. It says Monster Hunter Online, but I don't think it's like a traditional MMO. You're still fighting these dudes 4 at a time, probably. They seem to be retaining some of the weird like slash effects and stuff. It's kind of strange. Maybe they'll update those. But if this comes out in the West in some form, I'll probably definitely try it out. I could see this coming to like PS4 or Xbox 3 or whatever. See, he blocked for the chick that took forever to load, and then boom, shot a trap dart or whatever, and then this dude runs over and cuts off the fucking tail. Teamwork, bitches. Capturing monsters ain't easy. Okay, well, maybe more than 4 can fight a single monster. I don't know. From what I understand, it's kind of like Phantasy Star, right? Where everyone just sort of can hang out in a larger lobby, but when you go off to fight monsters, it's still, 4 people, but I don't know. Looks kind of cool to me. Anyways, as usual, post in the comments below what your favorite trailers are in the trailer talk, and if you have any recommendations for future trailer talks, go ahead and put those in the comments too. This next trailer is... Let me pause it here. Look at that dude. He's cool looking. I'm showing a trailer for Monaco. Now, Monaco is a game that I've played several times over the past couple of years at like PAX and other trade shows, and it's a really fun cooperative game to play with other people. But the reason, and it comes out I think next week. I'm showing you the trailer because I want y'all to decide. I've always sort of struggled with this game, and over the years they've changed the visual style up quite a bit or iterated on it, and it's always been kind of hard to follow. And it's always been fun to play once you sort of understand what's going on, but it can be really chaotic, easy to get lost in all the chaos. And honestly, the main reason I'm showing you this trailer talk is because we kind of want to play it next week, but I want y'all's opinion on whether y'all think you're even going to be able to follow what's going on, because it's a really busy game visually. But anyways, here it is. It's a cooperative bank heist game with a top-down view.
You are going to help me escape. Listen closely. This will be a four-man operation.
That art style's really come a long way over the years. It used to just be a hot mess. Now it has more personality, but I don't think it's any easier to really understand what's going on. So there's all kinds of different classes that you can choose from, more than 4, even though only 4 can go on a mission together. This pickpocket looks like he has a little monkey now that collects money, which is funny because he didn't have that before. I like the mole, he can dig through walls. But anyways, everyone has their own role, and they can, you can sort of solve these heists in your own way. There's like a hacker who can disable like cameras and other electronics. The lockpick can get through locked doors super quickly. There's some dudes who can, fight enemies. There's all kinds of different roles and performances. And I have seen games like this over the years, but I've never seen one executed so well. I mean, with so much personality. But like I said, can you even follow what's going on?
Monaco is mine.
Really cool game. Just, I don't know. We'll have to see if it's going to be broadcast friendly next week.
Peggy 18.
What do we got now? Okay, yeah. This next is sort of like a little trailer showing off some of the features in Metro Last Light. Some people on the site are really excited about this game. I'm kind of pumped. I wasn't the biggest fan of Metro 23, but I admired some of the stuff that they were doing. Like with air filters and whatnot, and all that stuff was pretty cool. I like looking at your watch and holding up your little lighter and to look at stuff. It's cool. But a lot of my problems with Metro 2033 were in the inconsistency of the gunplay, where I feel like sometimes I shoot a guy in the face and he dies instantly. Sometimes I feel like I shoot a guy in the face 6 times and he doesn't die. But from reports of some of the other guys who played it at PAX, they say I think the gunplay is better than it was in the last game, which is good. They say it kind of plays more like a stealth game this time around, and I feel like the first game could have been a stealth game, but like I said, because of the inconsistency, you totally fuck up your combat scenarios because you're like, well, I shot that guy in the head and he's not dead, and now we're fucked. Now, from what I understand, stealth is a little bit more reasonable. Anyways, this is talking about the different factions and whatnot, which is interesting. But the Metro games are very linear, from what I understand. At least Metro 2033 was, and this one still seems to be. And
Don't be surprised if you're faced with the consequences later on. See anything? Let's go check the dead end out. There are two ways.
I've always sort of preferred the Stalker structure, the more open-ended, open-world structure to this kind of setting. Mostly because linear games always want to do like these moments like turret sequences and stuff, and I think this game, like, look at this sequence. This is something you really typically only see in a linear game, and I guess it's cool looking, but never as fun as just sort of like sandboxy type battle scenarios. They're talking about the AI here, how it's much more improved than the last game. The first game, you did always feel very like sort of like outnumbered or scared, like threatened when you were going up against enemies. They were very dangerous. It was very easy to die. And I like sneaking around. I just, you know, like I said, when shit went bad, it went real bad. But they're saying now that it's easier to get back into stealth. Get back into stealth after you've been spotted, which is good. I think a lot of stealth games get that wrong, where once you blow stealth, you're just fucked. So you either reload or kill everyone. Little monsters that crawl on walls are never the most fun things to fight. We have some interviews and gameplay footage up on YouTube. I think Joseph interviewed the writer of the actual books, the Metro books. So it should be on our YouTube channel somewhere. Seems good. Seems cool. Metro, based on the internationally best-selling novel. I'll be playing it. I think it comes out next month or in June. I think in May. Yeah, I'll play that. Hopefully it's scary. First one wasn't really scary. Alright, next up is a trailer for Mario and Luigi Dream Team, which is, I guess, the next in the Mario and Luigi Superstar RPG series or whatever. The last one that was the Bowser's Inside Story, which was cool from what I played of it. The only one I finished was actually Superstar Saga, but I like that a lot too. And well, this looks good. It's the year of Luigi. Lots of cool Luigi stuff, right? I like the idea of going into dreams. Reminds me of Alundra. I can't believe I never finished Bowser's Inside Story. That was such a cool game. Okay, now, so this is interesting. It seems to have, from what I played of Bowser's Inside Story, all the Mario and Luigi stuff was flat because you're inside Bowser's body. It's nice to see some of the platforming, the 3D platforming from like the first two come back, but I don't know. You probably got back to that stuff in Bowser's Inside Story, but again, I never got that far. I guess this is showing you some interaction with like the bottom screen, and it's reacting to the top, making the top screen react, which is interesting. Pulling on Luigi's sleeping mustache affects the environment in his dream, which is interesting. You'd think it'd probably just wake him up. Lots of little mini games here. Are these in battle mini games, like special attacks? Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool. The writing is always super funny in these games. But I'll pick it up. I don't have a ton of 3DS games, but with this and this next game, I think the 3DS is definitely the system to own this fall. And probably right now with games like Fire Emblem and Etrian Odyssey and Luigi's Mansion. Should I play the new Luigi's Mansion? I don't know. Convince me below in the comments. Anyways, this next game, let me pause here. This next game is, before we start, I will say, for the longest time, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past was my favorite game of all time. much like Reggie. And number 2 was always Final Fantasy Tactics, and it was actually one day in college I just sort of changed my mind. It was I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna play Final Fantasy Tactics again, which I've already played probably half a dozen times before, and I was like, okay, let's pop this in, and then I started playing it, and then I looked at my watch, and it was like 10 hours later, and I was sweating, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? This game has some sort of sick hold over me, and that's when I changed my mind, and Final Fantasy Tactics became number 1, and A Link to the Past became number 2. But I still often consider the original Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past to probably be one of the most perfect games ever made. It's like a flawless game. It's like perfect from top to bottom. Still the best Zelda game, and of course one of the best games ever. And well, yes, I'll shut up. They're finally making a sequel, which I don't really know what that means, but as I'll show you in this trailer here. It definitely seems to be in the same world. This is actually the trailer off the 3DS eShop, not the. So there's some different content that wasn't in the other trailer that Nintendo released. All right, so first thing you see here is this is actually the world from A Link to the Past. But some of the layouts in the dungeons are completely different. So hey, that's enough for me, because from what I played of I love 2D Zeldas. I prefer them to 3D Zeldas, but the last 2 Zeldas that came out on the DS, last 2 Zelda games, see, this is cool. It pops you up to a top level. Probably look really cool in 3D. The last 2 Zelda games on the DS had really shitty like overworlds, or not even really much of overworlds at all. And for me, exploring the overworld, the Metroidvania aspects, I gotta pause this, hold on. The Metroidvania aspects of the overworld, where you get a new item and you can access more parts of the world, is like my favorite parts of it. And it really sucks to see that have gone away in the past 2 Zelda games on the DS. So, okay, this is interesting. This slow-mo. He turns into a little picture on the wall, and he can walk on the walls. And he does it again here, which is interesting. And they probably thought it was a really creative idea. I'm wondering if the Nintendo guys have even ever heard of Sidewalk. I think it's called Sidewalk, where a game where you're a fucking dude who's like a graffiti painting on the wall. But the graffiti painting. You know what? We're just gonna start that over, because I have more stuff to say. We will go through it again as I talk more, because it's fucking Link to the Past, and I love Link to the Past. There's a couple more things I gotta show y'all. Alright. So he's gonna use his special weapon here. Now let me pause it. You see on the left he has the green meter, and you think, okay, maybe that'd be the magic meter, because that's what it usually is. That's what it was in Link to the Past. But here's something different here. Let me... Alright, so here, okay, so check it out. He used his hammer just now, right? And that meter actually depleted. And if you look, let's go into slow-mo, over time, look at that, it's refilling. So it looks like all your weapons, and in the other trailer, he was shooting arrows, and it was depleting that as well. So from what I can tell, all your sub-weapons are tied to that meter, and instead of having to find like green potions or find new arrows, it just recharges over the time. So you never have that problem of getting stuck in a Zelda dungeon and like, oh, well, I don't have enough arrows, or I don't have enough magic meter, I gotta backtrack and get fucking more. It's interesting. It lets it be challenging without them, in here it depletes too, without them having to... So what they did in later Zelda games to get around that is just like, oh, well, we'll give you a magic meter, you know, we'll give you some magic potions anytime you need it, we'll give you arrows anytime you need them. But it kind of made it too easy and obvious. Here, it lets them sort of... Oh, by the way, fuck that boss. Fuck that boss. He was one of the most annoying bosses in A Link to the Past. I hated that fucker. I just got to get that out, because he knocked you to the bottom screen, and it looks like he could still do that. But yeah. And if you hear here, they change up the main theme a little bit, which is nice. I don't know! I'm excited. I could watch it a third time, but you'll probably kill me, because I still have more stuff to say. But if you want to hear more of my thoughts on The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past 2, or whatever they're going to call it, listen to the podcast on Tuesday, where I'm sure I'll be talking even more about it. Anyways, that's it for Trailer Talk. Rate us below. Leave a comment, please. And, yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching. We'll have another one of these on Friday. So, don't fear. Maybe Saturday morning. Anyways, thanks for watching.